The story opens when Alto Goldfield is warned by his teacher to make a contract with a familiar to advance to his second year. He is a first-year student at the Ortigia Academy of Magic. Although he always gets the perfect score in other fields, he struggles in the summoning exam. His teacher also tells him that some students have passed by forming contracts with rhinoceros beetles. Feeling disheartened, he confides everything to his friend Lilia Cudelfight, who becomes angry upon hearing this. He decided not to give up because of his year-long hard work in this academy. In the library, he decides to try something different in summoning. Suddenly, an old, peculiar summoning book drops on his head. Excitedly, he reads the book and decides to create a magical circle. After dropping his blood on the magical circle, black smoke spreads everywhere, and he succeeds in summoning a naked girl. He is shocked to see her naked. He asks who she is. She approaches him and asks what he wants. Feeling shy, he tells her he wants her to become his familiar. Suddenly, a bright light appears, and she makes a contract with him. She kisses him and drains his mana. Afterward, she introduces herself as Vermal, a demon, and declares that he is her master, promising to fulfill his wishes. He asks her to wear clothes he bought for her sister, and she wears a hot black dress. He finds himself in a bizarre situation but agrees with her explanation that most familiars would not approach him due to his extremely potent mana, which is as lethal as poison to most beings. Remembering his teacher's words about demons being powerful entities, he acknowledges the potential danger. Vermal explains that she can break the contract and kill him but refrains from doing so because he escapes her from the book in which she was trapped for a long time. Curious, he asks why she was trapped, and she reveals that she did many naughty things. When he presents Vermal to his teacher as his familiar, the teacher initially refuses to accept her, causing Vermal to become angry and display their contract. Eventually, the teacher agrees, and Alto happily prepares for his second year. However, Vermal's closeness to Alto in class attracts attention from others. The master stops them but she reminds him that the school advocates living alongside familiars. Lilia sees all this and becomes angry. Later, she confronts Alto, demanding an explanation. After Alto introduces Vermal, Lilia becomes furious, challenging Vermal to a duel which is used to resolve the conflict between students. Vermal accepts, stating that if they win, Lilia will have to do whatever Alto wants. Though feeling shy and awkward, Lilia agrees. Lilia summons Sylphide, a high-class wind spirit, and orders her to punish them. However, she loses control and attacks Alto. Vermal saves him. Vermal attacks on Lilia and makes her lose. Accepting defeat, she asks Alto what to do next. Alto suggests making Vermal her friend, to which they both agree. At home, Vermal approaches Alto to absorb a bit of his mana as a treat, explaining that being sealed for centuries has weakened her. Alto reflects on how he initially thought making a contract with a demon would be scary but now considers it somewhat normal. Vermal disagrees, emphasizing that humans cannot handle their power and often burst from inside or die when their mana is completely drained, especially if they sell their soul to a demon. When he moved with Vermal, every eye was on them. He asked her to do something to stand up for herself. Suddenly a high-class familiar dragon lost out of mind and moved toward them. But Vermal makes this dragon disappear in the sky by using her magic. In the hall, the teachers congratulated this student on advancing to a higher class, the start of a new term and a fairy flower. He saw everyone talking about Vermal and everyone's eyes were on them. After that, the teacher explains to them about the familiar as they are simple creatures and if they treat them with love and care, they will be their inseparable companion. The teacher waters a plant which grows to a bigger one. The teachers also mention that if their love is not sincere, their familiar may hurt them and tear apart. Vermal is again coming close to her in the class. Alto, Vermal and Lilia are about to go home when a boy named Rex, a dragon rider, asks Vermal to have a number on his boy earlier. They become shocked and pretend like they do not know who is him. He becomes aggressive and asks about her trick to take out his dragon. She behaves like she is afraid, but on the other hand Alto makes a magic circle for crystal synthesis, which is advanced magic. Rex breaks it and summons a Tyrannosaurus familiar dinosaur. He asks her to apologize to him in some other way as she is hot and is of his type, otherwise they will die in each other's arms. Dinosaurs come to attack them. Vermal hugs him and gives him his mana back, which is golden mana. He is able to synthesize a large crystal and fall towards them. Rex loses and apologizes to them. After that, Alto told Vermal he wanted to be a great and incredible mage in his life, as their nation mages categorized into gold square, silver squares, bronze square and apprentice mages, and he wanted to become a platinum square. She hugged her and mentioned that his dream will come true. She removes her clothes to fulfill her mana. He gets nervous. In school, his two classmates Cheryl and Marks come to meet him and also congratulate him on winning a duel against an upper former. After that, Alto, Layla and Cheryl meet the handmaster who devised a special trial to select one of them as a representative student of the second-year class. They all have to get a fairy flower by the 6 p.m. bell, as fairy flowers is rare and often used to craft potions. Young Master also joins them to find fairy flowers because he also wants to become the representative student of second year. He also summoned his familiar Francoise, who loved tree sap and honey. Alto and Lilia saw Cerberus near a fairy flower and thought, how did they get it? Lilia uses an invisibility potion made by her. She drinks it and becomes invisible, but her clothes are shown. She decided to remove them but felt shy and awkward. But she was able to remove all the clothes and move toward the Cerberus, but again felt embarrassed. Alto asked Vermal to amplify his mana back, but she asked for ample mana from him. She comes close to him, opens his shirt and also removes her clothes. On the other hand, Lilia is also smelled by Cerberus and about to be screwed, but Alto saves her. Alto fights with them and Lilia moves to get a fairy flower. Vermal also uses her power. Lilia gets a fairy flower and gives it to Alto. At the same time, her potion is gone, and she appears naked. She feels shy about this. The flower moves away by the wind and Cheryl gets it. Cheryl became the representative student of second year. They're both happy about it. Vermal loves the crepe, which she tried for the first time. Suddenly, they all see the numbers of dragon riders in the sky. She also gives him her food, which he tastes and likes. All the students talk about Chris, who is the captain of the Dragon Riders. She is pretty incredible and one of only 7 gold squares at the academy. She is an executive officer on the student council. Student council members are the top students at the academy. Out of 7, 5 are executive officers on the student council. These are chosen from different communities and clubs. Alto also mentions that all the student council presidents are close to earning platinum. At the same time, Vermal puts her breast on him, and Lilia stops her by saying they are in public. Lilia and Marx change their uniforms and talk about Vermal, thinking she is absolutely hiding something about herself from them. Lilia decides to expose her and also refuses that she does not like Alto. They have only known each other for so long, and she is only worried about him. They suddenly hear some noise as Vermal enters the boys' changing room. Lilia tells Vermal to be ashamed of this act. The student council members are on their way, and everyone gives them space to pass. Alto is also impressed by them. When he bathes, he thinks about the student council as they look so cool. Vermal also tells him they are all on another level. He is shocked to see her naked in the bath with him. She comes close to him and tells him she is his familiar and gives him strength, so he can use her however he likes, and promises to make his dream come true one day. One of the student council members, Chris, beats Brex for losing a duel to an underclassman. It is also mentioned that his dragon is just a big lizard. He tries to clarify things, but she beats him, and in his aggressiveness, he quits. She thinks Alto is an interested little boy. Alto, Vermal, and Lilia go to the hospital to check on Rex. Rex asks Alto how he was feeling for a dinosaur. He replied that dinosaurs are big, kind of scary, but cool. Lilia advises him not to fight with anyone, but he moves silently. He passes by the stairs with Vermal and meets with Chris, who tells him to back up because he is really challenging her to a duel. But he stands with full confidence and courage. She gets angry and summons her familiar whirlwind. Vermal touches his hand, kisses him, and gives him golden mana for the fight. They both attack each other. Vermal saves him. She attacks them one by one as punishment, and Vermal takes damage. She again attacks them and thinks they are not typical mages. He synthesizes many crystals and drops them on her. The blast happens, but fortunately, she is saved and moves on her dragon in the sky. She attacks them, and they are unable to answer. She tells them this is their last chance for apology. She tells them everyone is afraid of dragons not because of their stone-crushing teeth, iron-slicing claws, or earth-scorching breath, but because they have the ability to fly all over the sky. The sky is her. Other student council members saw all this. She continuously attacks them, showing her beliefs, as she hates familiars because familiars are the measures of a mage's power. He disagrees with her and tells her a familiar is a good companion. She tells them there is a chance to beat and defeat her if it is possible. Vermal accepts it and tells her she will crush her beliefs to dust. Despite still having some mana left, they used a crystal to lift up. Rex refused to witness the incident because he believed Chris would win. But Alto, fortunately, placed a crystal on her and won the duel. Everyone was shocked to see Alto win against a member of the student council, praising him. Layla wondered how this had happened and attempted to throw a rock at him, but Cheryl stopped her. At the same time, Professor Obsidian arrived, congratulating Alto on his victory but warning him to not challenge others to duels. Chris did chores because she lost a duel, but other student council members stop and do his work and find herself on the same level as they, both starting over from the bottom. At night, Alto slept peacefully but Vermal suddenly kissed him. She is naked, questioning why he disliked kissing her. Alto explained that he believed one person should only kiss someone they love. Vermal then confessed her love to him. The next day at school, Alto pondered Vermal's words and asked Professor Obsidian if a demon could fall in love with a human. The professor explained that it's difficult to determine if a demon's actions are motivated by love, suggesting demons just do it for desire for human mana. Vermal eats properly, but Alto cannot eat dinner, behaving strangely. He asks her why she is with him. Is she with him only for his mana? Vermal hugged him, expressing her need for mana to survive. Despite kissing him again, she assured him she kissed him out of love. Alto refused her request for another kiss. The next day, he apologized to the Professor Obsidian for his random question, which the professor cannot take badly. The professor told him he looks better from yesterday. He mentions every woman is a feisty little demon. A cute, shy girl approached the Professor Obsidian, showing her love. He reciprocated before injecting her with something, causing her to freeze. Rumors spread that the girl was alive but in a coma. Vice President Ryuga Shinuji discussed Emma Obelian, a fourth-year specializing in ice magic, who was frozen in a coma. The dual committee chair, Jessica Schwartz, explained the difficulty in extracting Emma from the ice-coated room, highlighting the inefficiency of ice magic. Alto measured Vermal's height for a report. He observed her daily activities, favorite food, and physical features to make a report, which is given by his teacher. The teacher did it to make students closer to their familiars. He is making a report when she becomes naked and tells him to measure her easily. She put his hand on her boobs. Lilia familiar saw all this and told this to Lilia. Lilia told Cheryl she got into the house with the invisible portion and then she used the copied key to get straight to Alto. Alto took measurements of Vermal boobs and after that asked her to put her cloth back because now he just had to measure her leg. Lilia comes to their room by using a copy key. He touched Lilia as he picked a book from the bookshelf. Lilia gets ashamed of it. He completed his report and discussed their victory with Vermal. He suggested Chris didn't use all her power, enabling them to win the duel. He then asked Vermal to go shopping, unaware she had written something on his report. He was buying lettuce for dinner when Vermal asked him for dessert, but he refused because he had a shortage of money this month. He told her that he would buy it next time for her, but she behaved childishly, and he agreed to buy dessert for her. She hugged and kissed him in public, surprising everyone who saw them. She told him that she would kiss anyone she loves anytime. She kissed him again. Rex's friend came and asked for his help because Rex had a fight with Chris. Chris attacked him, but he was saved. He used a magic ball and made her back off. He stood up and asked her to fight. Alto, along with Vermal, came and aggressively asked him what he was doing with Chris. Rex got aggressive and used his mana to summon a great familiar. At the same time, Elena Kimberlite, the student council president, arrived and shattered the familiar into pieces with her sword. Rex fell, and everyone went to check on him. Elena asked Vermal if she had any knowledge about the power used, but she refused. The student council members discussed the Rex incident, pondering what was behind it. Chris moved out. Alto received a bronze square exam notice, and Lilia advised him to prepare for it, removing all distractions and putting effort into passing the exam. Vermal went to her room for rest and asked him to go to the library to study. He found it strange because she never left him alone. He thought she behaved strangely after the Rex incident. Vermal met Professor Obsidian and simply told him what he did. She said what he did with others was none of her business, but he should have stopped because a human cannot handle that much power. She told him to do what he wanted, but not to lay a finger on Alto. He smiled at it. She moved out, but he suddenly injected something into her to obtain the real thing, and she fell down. Alto studied with Lilia, who touched his hand and told him to focus on studying. Suddenly, light emitted from his right hand, from which he made a contract with Vermal. He worried about Vermal. Everyone was shocked to see mana in the sky. Alto ran away. Elena also moved and cut a strange thing into pieces, but it reassembled and increased in number, trapping her. Meanwhile, Vermal transformed into a monstrous being, causing disasters with just a swing of her arm. Professor Obsidian was pleased with this. Alto is surprised to see all this. He has no words. Professor Obsidian makes Vermal kneel. Alto and Lilia ask Professor Obsidian, "What is this?" He replies, he consulted established magical means that cause madness into a liquid form. It was custom made to work on true demons. Injecting it causes their powers to run amok, and now he has incredible success. He explains that he is the man behind everything. Alto was shocked. He is unable to see Vermal like this. The professor claims to be the best master of Vermal, but at the same time, Vermal breaks the chains, shocking everyone. She attacks the professor, but Alto intervenes, and she accidentally hits him, causing blood to drop on the floor. Vermal remembers the time when she felt adrift in deep, dark, and cold water, and Alto rescued her. As Alto falls, she becomes bigger and more vicious. The professor is also afraid, but Vermal hugs Alto, fortunately making him fine. She cries, but he reassures her that everything is alright. He again fell down. Lilia thinks he is dead, but Vermal kisses him, heals his wound with golden mana, and the professor gets mad, injects himself, transforming into a hybrid demon. He mentions that the ultimate demon has fed upon 100 low-level demons, and with her rampage ended, it can easily crush her. He attacks her, but she injures him with just one strike. He tries to escape in the sky, but Chris and her dragon familiar appear and confront him. Vermal attacks him, causing him to fall, but not killing him. Alto wakes up, and Lilia is happy to see him alive again. Meanwhile, Elena is free from the trap of strange things. Vermal explains to Alto that she pierced his heart with an attack, but now his heart beats because her mana has merged with his. She apologizes, and although Alto takes it easy, he learns that his heart beating in his chest is actually her heart, the heart of a true demon, and if one of them dies, the other will die too. Alto gets angry, as demons are supposed to live forever, but he will die like any human. Professor Obsidian is hauled away by the Ortygia city guard, and the incident is resolved for the moment, but many mysteries still in the air. All the students in comas wake up feeling better, and things change. Alto kisses Vermal, and he realizes he needs her mana for his heart to function. Vermal stops talking to him and acts cold, explaining that she did it because she is a monster, a living disaster, and he also saw her true form, so why isn't he afraid of her? She mentions that it will take many decades for his heart to work properly, and after that, her role in his life will be over. She locks herself in another book, believing it's better for him because they cannot live a normal life anymore. He kisses her but doesn't receive any mana. He tells her she is his familiar, and he needs her every time in life, then leaves. She is shocked, remembering his words that a person should kiss someone whom he loves. Please subscribe to our channel for the latest update.